Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the vintage knives and gifts I sort of picked up over the weekend and the last couple of days. Now there's been several pickups. I think I bought back about 15 knives from the weekend and I had a couple delivered this morning. Now I did pick up 4 victorinox, 2 of which I've already done a video on. I'll put the link in the sort of page at the end, and it'll probably be about here somewhere. And there are 2 more victorinox that I have actually already sent back to Victorinox to have the blades replaced. So there will be a future video of those to come. But I'm going to go through the ones I've sort of got here, just a quick walk around. There will be sort of individual videos of most of these, so it's more like just going to be sort of a show and tell really, rather than any sort of in-depth videos. But let's move this out of the way so we get prime focus. The first one was actually a gift from Bladebridge Dan, and this came through my letterbox this morning. Now, this is a beautiful little budding knife. Looks to be sort of ivory or ivorine covers. So you've got brass liners, lined bolsters. Now I do apologise for my fingers. That is super glue that's sort of stained them with the dirt. So apologies for that. But you get a beautiful little budding blade, and this is a seiner. So you can see that here, W Seiner Limited Sheffield. Beautiful little sheep's foot, nice little swedge on there. Action is still pretty good on that. Still have snap. And then, of course, this would be the sort of the budding tool for deadheading, things like that. And I think more secure, or I think more tougher use, you would use this little sheep's foot. But isn't that a beautiful little knife? And a gift I was not expecting. So, Dan, thank you very much for that. It's a beautiful knife. Great condition as well. Centering's a little off, but does that bother me in the slightest? No, it's not rubbing the sides. Excuse me. So that's the first one. Nice little seiner. Another one that came through the door as well this morning is this absolute beauty. Look at the bone on this. Isn't that fantastic? As you can see, there is quite a bit of heavy patina on the blade. I've had a little bit of a polish up this, nothing major. It does need a full sort of restoration. I'll just give it a little bit of a clean this morning. And you can see this we are looking at is a T. Turner & Co. Cutlers to His Majesty. And on the back, we have the Encore Sheffield, I think. And there's a little maker's mark there. Can't quite work it out, but you can probably see it a bit better than me. And this thing still has beautiful action. And look at that fat spear blade. Nice little kick there to stop any blade wrap. And it is absolutely dead centered. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And I did pick up a few knives in the batch of this, some of which are going to be parts knives, so I'm just going to show the one for now. But Thomas Turner, absolutely beautiful. Put a little edge on it, so it's going to be a nice user. But great action. It's about 6 on the pull, and you can pinch it open. But just look at the profile of that knife. Absolutely fantastic. Love that one. And then on to this weekend's find. So they're just sort of this morning, sort of yesterday. Nice little lamb's foot picked up here as well. Got a rat tail bolster. So if you don't know, this is what the rat tail is, but it's like as thick as the rat tail. That sort of groove in there. And this is in the sort of the hot pressed sort of synthetic covers. Nicely centered, not perfectly, but enough off the liners you're not going to get any rub. And this is a Howarth, J. Howarth. So any of you don't know, Howarth knives were made in the same building as Arthur Wright and Sons. And the last knives left the factory with a Howarth stamp on back in 1981, I believe. So the youngest this can be is from 81, but it's got a beautiful lamb's foot blade. Nice sort of use wear on it. Nice little edge on it. I did give it a bit of a polish up yesterday. But again, absolutely beautiful. Nice fit and finish. Very minor gapping. Nice sort of 4-inch lamb's foot with excellent snap as well. Beautiful little knife. So another great one from the weekend. Now this one is one I wasn't expecting to pick up, because when I first picked it up, this was sort of tarnished and I thought it might have just been steel with steel liners with this sort of jigged synthetic, but look at that. Beautiful brass liners on this one. Centering's not perfect, but it's not rubbing. And this is H. Rowbottom or Robotham & Co. Sheffield Limited, and this has a beautiful spear point blade on it. Look at that. Wonderful pivot on there as well. Kind of like a bird's eye pivot, but it's all brass. And you see that washer there. It's used to sort of stabilize the peening of the head of the pivot to stop it pushing through the covers. And then you've got steel pins at the back here as well. But great action on that. Beautiful snap on the open and on the close. You can see I'm still in the process of cleaning out the pivots on this. So you can see there's still a little bit of dirty oil coming out there, but nothing major. See if we can spread these out a bit better at the top so we can get a bit more on the screen. Next up, one I was actually carrying yesterday, and this is a William Rogers Slim Barlow. Now, Taylor's Eyewitness still make one very similar to this, a Slim Barlow. This is a two-bladed. You can see William Rogers mark there, I cut my way, with beautiful snap, beautiful pen blade on that sort of double stamped bolster. And by that I mean don't with a stamp, I mean like it's rounded here and then squared off like the Taylor's Eyewitness Barlow. But great snap on that. Main blade, nice little bit of snap, and I was using this one yesterday, so there's a little bit of patina on the blade. And you can just about see William Rogers, Sheffield, England. Nothing on the back. But this has beautiful buffalo covers. Look at that on there. Great build quality. Again, buffalo on the back. Absolutely fantastic. Nice shield on there as well. Centering on the pen blade's okay. This one looks like it might be touching right at the very end, but for a vintage knife and the price you pay for these, it's not bothering me whatsoever. Another beautiful one, little Barlow. Next up, we have a George Wolstenholme Stockman. Now this is one where you can see the main blade is a little bit worn, maybe got like 1/2 centimetre taken off the blade there, but any of you know I'm a big George Wolstenholme fan, and I had to have this one to add to the collection. As you can see, it's still in very good shape. Jig synthetic covers on there. Really nice Federal shield. Great snap on the sheep's foot blade. You can see there's all the meat left on that. And good snap on the spay as well. And then the main blade still has a good action. You can see the George Wolstenholme tang there, and then what's left of premium stock knife. You can see you've got the Eam stock knife on here, but the blade still has a swoop up for the clip and has a nice long pull on it as well. So there's plenty of meat there for me to use this as a sort of everyday carry. And then of course, everyone please remember to oil your joints, or that's how you end up with a knife with terrible action. But beautiful Stockman, about 3 3/4 inches this Stockman, I think, maybe 4 inch a push. Next up, one of my favourites from the weekend. This is a white synthetic, I think. I don't think it's bone. I've not done any sort of tests on it, but it's too clean for me to go and doing any destructive tests. But you see, beautiful fit and finish. And this is a Stockman with a twist. So you get the regular main blade, and this is a Harrison Fisher. Regular main clip blade there. Absolutely fantastic shape. Then you get your spay blade as well. Not the most attractive spay blade, but definitely not the most hideous. On the back there, you can see it's got Sheffield, England. But instead of a sheep's foot, you get a punch. Now that's something I really love on a Stockman. The only thing that could improve this for me is if they'd got rid of the spay and had a sheep's foot and a punch. That would have been absolutely perfect. But punch is very useful. Nice snap on all those tools. Nice centering, no rub. Beautiful white, smooth synthetic covers. It might be bone. I really don't think it is. It's too clean for that. But absolutely beautiful. And that shield is pinned on. You can just about see the pin on the inside there. My favourite actual purchase from the weekend is this one here. This is a black synthetic, I believe. Beautiful large Federal shield. Superb fit and finish all round. And this is more of a standard Stockman. It's about 3.5 inches close, which is quite small for a Stockman, but you get this massive chunky clip point blade on there. And you can see I have been using this, so there is patina as well. And this is a Harrison Bros and Holson or Howson. But look at the clip. I love the clip point on this. Beautiful, nice thick tang, tapers down to a nice fine point. And this carbon steel takes a wicked edge. Listen to the snap. And then again, get the sheep's foot on there, which says made in Sheffield, England. See that on there? Perfect little edge I put on there. Very beautiful blade. And then you have this sort of Tanto style spade blade on the back. See that there? Beautiful edge on that one. And this says on here, Cutlers to His Majesty. So I believe the newest this can be is 1952. The condition of this for the age of the knife is absolutely ridiculous. Now, yes, I have polished it up. The covers are obviously a bit scratched where it's been rummaging around in someone's drawer for that sort of time. A little bit of patina on the springs, which I've left. I've also left some of the natural patina on the blade. You can see like a little bit up here, a little bit down here. And probably a better example is to show you the sheep's foot. See that at the top of the blade running down here, both sides. But that is my favourite purchase from the weekend. Now, I did a little bit of trading on the weekend with Mikey Newman. Now, I've been after one of his GEC Sodbusters for a very long time. He had two, and he finally caved when I offered him a trade for it. And here it is. This is in the natural green linen micarta, I believe it is. And this is the 71, so the smaller of the two. And then the model number is 71 51 21. And this is it the bullnose? It just about says on there, if I can get to focus, bullnose. Beautiful Sodbuster. The blade is right at that 3-inch limit. Fit and finish is fantastic. Action is fantastic. It's everything I thought it would be, and I'm very happy with my purchase. And this is, well, my trade, and this is going to be in the pocket tomorrow. So sorry, Mikey, this is not going to look clean for too much longer. But love this knife. It's going to get a lot of pocket time. And then finally, I did another trade with Mikey. I was getting rid of a couple of knives over the weekend. If any of you are in the Discord, you would have seen my sort of slippy sale, as I sort of call it, where I move on stuff that I'm no longer going to use, or I feel that other people will be able to enjoy a bit more. And the trade that we came about is absolutely fantastic. I've got the most beautiful buffalo George Wilson Holmes Stockman from Mikey. Look at the feathering on that. And though it does look like a crack down there, I think that is just part of the buffalo. It doesn't look like they've sanded down far enough. And it doesn't look like any sort of cracking. It just looks like a sort of a defect in the buffalo. But look at the feathering on that. And on the back as well. Beautiful clear down to a dark swoop through there. And look at that. Coined and worked back springs. Absolutely beautiful. Glass-like action. Pulls about a 6. George Wilson Holmes, Sheffield, England. Those polished steel blades. Stainless steel this one is. Work goes down onto the tang of the blade a tiny bit there. Just a nice little touch. But the action is like glassy smooth. And this is going to be my smart carry, gentleman's carry knife if I go to do anything sort of smart. It's hard to get the blades to focus when they're so shiny. There we go. You see the milling. Is the springs milled? No, but you've got the coining on the liners going all the way down on the inside. Absolutely phenomenal. But there we go, guys. That's my pickups and trades from the weekend. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.